AS 29. AS 29 क्या है sir? What is AS 29? Provisions. Clear? Provisions, contingent liabilities and contingent assets. Clear? Provisions, contingent liabilities and contingent assets is our standard. Before going deep into the syllabus, before going deep into the standard, let us understand what is covered under the standard, what is not covered under the standard. Clear? AS 29 deals with what? AS 29 does not apply to what? Clear? Applies and does not apply. AS 29 applies to accounting for, clear? AS 29 applies for accounting of what? Accounting of provisions. Clear? Accounting of provisions, contingent liabilities and obviously contingent assets, right? Contingent assets. Clear? So if I want to account for provisions, who will tell me how to account for provisions? AS 29. Who will tell me how to account for contingent liabilities? AS 29. Who will tell me how to account for contingent assets? AS 29. Simple. But AS 29 does not apply to all provisions. It does not apply to all contingent liabilities. It does not apply to all contingent assets. There are some provisions, there are some contingent liabilities, there are some contingent assets to whom AS 29 does not apply. Let us see what they are. Clear? AS 7, construction contracts. Clear? Construction contracts. So any provisions, contingent assets and contingent liabilities, I repeat, any provision, contingent liability and contingent assets arising out of construction contracts, clear, arising out of construction contracts are not covered by whom? Are not covered by AS 29. Why? Construction contracts को which standard is applicable? Construction contracts को which standard is applicable? AS 7. Simple. What? AS 7. That is why this standard is not applicable. Clear? So when we go to AS7, that is construction contracts, I hope we have not yet done with that, right? Since we have not yet started, I am not explaining you. Once we start with AS7, I will tell you what are the provisions, contingent liabilities and contingent assets related to construction contract. Right now, not relevant to us. Clear? Next. Then is revenue recognition. Clear? Revenue recognition. Tell me, revenue recognition comes under which standard? Revenue recognition comes under which standard? AS 9. Clear? AS 9. Clear? So any provisions, contingent liability and contingent assets which are covered by AS 9 are not covered by AS 29. Next, employee benefits. Employee benefits. Clear? Employee benefits. This I don't think so. You know, AS 15. Clear? AS 15. Employee benefits, AS 15. Clear? Now let us say, for example, PF. PF ka provision. Clear? Should I create a provision for provident fund, provision for salaries, provision for ESI? All these provisions are covered relating to employee benefits are covered under AS 15. They are not covered under AS 29. Clear? Next. Lease. Leases. Tell me. Leases are covered under which standard? AS 19. Clear? So AS 19. So any provision for lease, any contingent liability, any contingent asset arising out of leases will go to AS 19. Clear? Next. Accounting for taxes on income. Tell me. This is covered by which standard? AS 22. Clear? This is covered by AS 22. Clear? So again, any provisions, contingent liabilities and contingent assets arising out of taxes on income are covered under AS 22. Clear? Next. So can I say simply like this? If a provision, clear? Can I say something like this? If a provision or a contingent liability or a contingent asset are covered by any other standard. For them, AS 29 will not apply. Specific standard will apply. Correct or not? Simple. So if it is not, if it is covered by any other standard, specific standard will apply. A general standard AS 29 will not apply. Clear? Next. Next. In addition to this, clear? In addition to this. In addition to this. Clear? Financial instruments. Clear? Financial instruments that are carried, clear, that are carried, clear, that are carried at fair value. Clear, that are carried at fair value. Sir, what is a financial instrument? I have already explained you where in AS 26. Clear? So if any, I repeat, if any contingent asset or a contingent liability or a provision occurs with reference to financial instruments carried at fair value, AS 29 will not apply. What is the meaning of financial instrument, financial asset and all? I have already explained you in AS 26. Point number 2. Clear? Resulting from, clear, resulting from executory contracts. Executory contracts unless they are onerous. Clear? ONEROUS. What is the point telling us? Contingent liabilities, contingent assets and provisions resulting from what? Resulting from executory contracts unless they are onerous in nature. It means now I'll ask a simple question. Tell me if, I repeat, if a contingent liability or a contingent asset or a provision arises from executory contract which is not onerous, then which is not onerous, is it applicable or not? Is this standard applicable or not? Okay, let me divide this into two parts. Clear? Let me divide this into two parts. Clear? Now, executory contract. Clear? Executory contract is onerous. I will explain everything. I'll explain everything. Aram se. Clear? There are a lot of things to be learned in this standard. I will explain. Clear? Executory contracts not onerous. Clear? Now tell me, if executory contract is onerous and if it is not onerous, what will happen? If executory contract is onerous, will this standard apply or not? Read that paragraph, point number 2 and tell me. If executory contract is onerous, will this standard apply or not? See here, where I have written does not apply resulting from executory contracts unless they are onerous in nature. Means unless they are onerous in nature. Means if it is onerous in nature, if it is onerous in nature, if an executory contract is onerous in nature, AS 29 applies. AS 29 applies. If executory contracts are non-onerous in nature, AS 29 does not apply. Does not apply. I hope you got it clear now. If an executory contract is onerous, AS 29 will apply. If an executory contract is non-onerous, AS 29 does not apply. Clear? Now, first, what is executory contract now? What is executory contract? What is executory contract? What is executory contract? Simple. Anyone knows? Clear? Now, executory contract is a contract. Remember, I repeat, executory contract is a contract where both the parties, clear, both parties have not, clear, I'll write something like this, both parties have not performed their obligations. Clear? Both parties have not performed obligations. Clear? Both parties have not performed the obligations, or both parties have performed equally. Clear? Let us say you and me enter into a contract. Let us assume that you and me enter into a contract. Clear? Neither you have performed your part nor I have performed my part. I repeat, we both enter into a contract for some XYZ thing. You have to do something, I have to do something. You have not done anything, what you have to do, neither I have done anything. Clear? Neither you have performed your obligation nor I have performed my obligation. As per the contract, you have to perform X thing, I have to perform Y thing. You have not performed your X activity, I have not performed my Y activity. Both parties have not performed their obligations. What is this called? This is called as executory contract. This is called as what? Executory contract. Or you can say both parties have performed equally. 70% of your job you have performed, 70% of my job I have performed. That is again an example of what? Executory contract. Either both have not performed or both have performed equally. This is called as what? This is called as executory contract. Which contract? Executory contract. Clear? Next. Point number 3. Clear? Point number 3. What is onerous and all? Don't worry, I will explain everything. Let the definitions come. I will explain everything. Clear? Resulting to insurance company from contract with policy holders. Clear? So I'm having an insurance policy with an insurance company. I repeat, I am having let us say I'm having a life insurance policy with LIC. Clear? So any provision, any contingent asset, any contingent liability arising to insurance company based on my policy will not be considered as what? Will not be considered as ACE 29. Clear? ACE 29 will not be applicable. Clear? I hope everyone understood what is applicability, what is not applicability. Simple points these are. Clear? Anyone has to clarify anything? So can we continue with definitions? Can we continue with definitions now? Very good. Chalo. Now let us start with part 2 of the standard definitions. Clear? Part 2 of the standard definitions. Clear? Definitions. No. Definitions में first definition ONEROUS, onerous contract. So what do we mean by onerous contract? Simple question. Onerous contract. What is an onerous contract? Tell me in simple words. If I tell cost is more than benefit. Simple. A contract where cost is greater than benefit. I repeat, a contract where cost is more than benefit is called as what? Onerous contract. Clear? Is called as onerous contract. Tell me, onerous contract is profit making contract or loss making contract? Tell me, onerous contract is a profit making or loss making contract? Simple. It is a loss making contract. What contract? It is a loss making contract. Clear? Loss making contract. So a contract where cost is more than the benefits. A contract where cost of contract is more than the benefit of contract. It is called as what? It is called as loss making contract, or you can say onerous contract. Clear? Now next. Contract can be onerous. Clear? Contract can be onerous either at the time of entering the contract. Clear? At the time of entering the contract, contract can be onerous. Means what? At the time of entering the contract, you know that it is a loss making contract. I repeat, listen very carefully because this is very important standard. Clear? Owner contract can be onerous in how many points of time? 2 points of time. One, at the time of entering the contract, I know that it is onerous. Means I know that it is a loss making contract. or it can be after entering into the contract. Clear? So contract can be onerous either at the time of entering, means once I know that it is a loss making contract but still I'm entering into that. I repeat, I know that it is a loss making contract but still I'm entering into that contract. That is called what? Contract onerous at the time of entering the contract. Clear? Now, after entering the contract, expenditures have increased. After entering the contract, expenditures suddenly due to some reason increased, and I now am facing a loss. That is called what? That is called as contract onerous after entering the contract. Clear? So either at the time of entering the contract I know that it is onerous, or after entering I may come to know that it is onerous. Let us take one example. Now question will come. Why will someone enter into a contract which is loss making? Correct or not? Simple. I told you that contract can be onerous, means I know that contract is a loss making contract, but still I'm entering into that contract. That is situation number one. Now my question is, why will someone enter into a loss making contract? I know that it is loss. I know that it is a loss making contract, but still I'm entering into it. Why? Now tell, will anyone prefer these type of contracts? Will anyone prefer contracts which are onerous at the time of entering? Yes, people will prefer. Yes, people will prefer. This is for market penetration. Clear, market penetration. I hope this concept, I don't know whether it's done in SM or not. You will have that market penetration. Clear, all these concepts will be there in SM. Simple question. You are very new into business. Let us say, for example, you are a new player into business. Let us say you have started. Let us say, for example, uh, Gayatri madam has started her own academy. Clear? Gayatri GIPS, Gayatri Institute of Professional Studies. Now, tell me, are there already some good institutes available in Hyderabad? Big institutes available in Hyderabad? Are there big institutes available in Hyderabad? Yes. If you want to compete with these institutions, can you charge the fees what these people are charging, or you have to charge way below them? Simple. You have to charge a low fees. Now, at the time of charging low fees, will you think of incurring profits or losses, or will you think of breaking those new existing people? At the time when I want to enter into market, when I want to start a business, I will not think of profit or loss. I will think of capturing the market. I will think of breaking the students and bringing them to my academy. Now tell, I'm entering into a contract. I'm entering into a contract and knowing that it is loss. Why? Because I want to enter into market at any cost. Now let us say Geo. Clear? Geo. When Geo entered into telecom business, I maybe in 2016, I think so. Jio entered into telecom business in 2016 and gave SIM card with unlimited internet, whatever facilities, free of cost for 1 year. Jio gave Jio gave network services to public for 1 year free of cost or not? Sir, 1 year free of cost means what? Even after 1 year also, was it charging the rate what other people are charging, or almost very low? Even after 1 year, the prices of Jio initially were very high or low? Were very low than compared to other people. Tell me, Jio is giving free of cost to millions of people, free of cost network services. Is it operating at profit or loss? Simple. Free services is obviously loss, right? He has to pay money, right? He has to pay salaries, he has to pay spectrum fee, he has to pay license fee. Clear? So many expenses he has to incur, but he is giving free. Even though he knows that entering into this market will be risky, it will be losses, still he entered. Why? To capture the market. Does he know at the time of entering the contract with government? I repeat, at the time of entering the contract with government to provide network services in India, at the time of entering the contract, does he know that does he know that it will be into losses? Now tell, is it onerous after entering or at the time of entering? Is it loss making after entering or before entering? Before entering only I know that it is loss, but still I'm entering. Now I hope you understood why people enter into onerous contract when they know that it is loss making. I hope the concept is clear. Clear? There are many such examples, right? We will see so many case laws. This complete chapter is based on case law. Multiple case laws will solve tomorrow. Next, after entering into contract, after entering into contract, it might become loss. Now, let us say, for example, let us take one small example. Clear? Coal mine. Coal mine. Coal mine में digging will happen or not? Coal mine में digging will happen or not? They will dig or not? Earth. Yes, they will dig earth. After the earth is after clear after 3 4 let us say 5 years ka government has given a coal mine ka project to XYZ company. Clear? After 5 years, that can they leave as it is or they have to like restore the land? They have to leave the land as it is where they have you coal mine was there, or they have to they can leave it as it is, or they have to rebuild the land properly. They have to restore the land properly. Remember, this restoration of land is now or after 5 years. After 5 years, remember this example I told you when AS 10 में group 1 accounts 1 में what is this technically called? Remember, decommissioning charges and similar liabilities in AS 10. Remember that decommissioning charges. Future may I'm going to incur decommissioning charges, that is restoration charges, and now only I'm booking or not provision. Now only I'm booking a provision or not. Yes, clear. Now today I am thinking that benefit is 50 lakhs. Clear? Benefit out of this coal mine is 50 lakhs, and the cost of restoration is, let us say, 20 lakhs. So how much is the net benefit I'm getting? 30 lakhs. Clear? This is my calculation for today. You think exactly 20 lakhs I will incur after 5 years, or it might be more or less? Exactly 20 lakhs will I incur for decommissioning after 5 years, or it can be more or less. It can be more or less. Now, this is the actual situation. Actual benefit I got is, let us say, 45 lakhs. Actual benefit I got is 45 lakhs. And at the decommissioning cost now in the fourth year, I came to know that decommissioning cost will be 70 lakhs. In the fourth year of operations, I came to know that decommissioning cost will be 70 lakhs. Now tell profit or loss. In the fourth year, I came to know expenses will be, now tell how much loss. How much loss? 25 lakhs is 25 lakhs. Now tell at the time of entering into the contract, at the time of entering into the contract, at the time of entering into the contract, was it onerous or non-onerous? At the time of entering into the contract, onerous or non-onerous? Non-onerous. In the fourth year of operations, it has become onerous or non-onerous? In the fourth year of operations, what has happened? It has become onerous. I hope now we understood the concept. What is onerous contract and how many types of onerous contracts are there? Anyone has any doubts? Clear? Very good. So what is an onerous contract? It is a contract where cost of project is more than the benefits derived. Obviously, it will be a loss-making contract. Clear? Next. Next. Now let us understand what is provision. Clear? What is provision? सर ये समझ में आ गया तो लाइफ जिंगल आला. If you understand this, your life will be jingle ala. This is where students get confused. Sir, when to recognize a provision, when to recognize a contingent liability, when to recognize a contingent. Clear? See, provision will be there, liability will be there, contingent liability will be there. Simple question. Provision is there, liability is there, contingent liability is there. Contingent asset, leave it. Right now we are talking from liabilities point of view. Sir, when to recognize provision, when to recognize liability, when to recognize contingent liability, students have no idea. Simple. Why? Because problem is confusing. It's very, very, very confusing. So now what you have to do? Sir, you have to be very, very, very careful. Clear? Now let us understand now what is provision. Clear? Can someone tell me what is provision? What is a provision? Tell me. I'm waiting for your answer. What is a provision according to you? Future loss. Sir, there could be onerous company. Why company will be onerous? Hmm? Onerous company. I've never heard about it. Why will company be onerous? Onerous will be project. Expected future loss. Okay. I will tell you what is provision technically. Clear? Let us understand step by step. Clear? Let us understand step by step. Under that, point number one. Clear? Point number one. Step by step, let us understand, because this is very, very, very important. Clear? Now, sir, what is the provision? Provision, clear? Provision is a liability. Provision is a liability which can be measured. Which can be measured. Which can be what? Which can be measured. Which can be measured only by using a substantial degree of estimation. Clear? What is provision? Provision is a liability which can be measured only by using what? A substantial degree of estimation. I hope you understood. I hope you understood this point. Liability is what? What is provision? Provision is a liability which can be measured only by using a substantial degree of estimation. Clear? Now, now question comes. यहाँ पर now question comes. Sir, what is a liability? Simple. What is a liability? It says, what the standard says? Provision is an asset or liability? Simple question. Provision is an asset or liability? Liability. And it says it can be measured only by using what? Substantial degree of estimation. Substantial degree of estimation. These 2 points we need to understand, right? Because if I just give you the definition, you will not be able to differentiate between provision, liability, contingent liability. So that is why now, to understand a provision is saying that what? Provision is a liability. Standard says that provision is a liability. Now let us understand what is a liability. Simple. Because unless and until I understand liability, how will I know what is a provision? Simple. Clear? Now, what is a liability now? Liability is a present obligation. The words are very twisted here. Listen very carefully. What is liability? Liability is a present obligation arising from what? Arising from past events. Arising from which events? Past events. The settlement of which, clear? The settlement of which, clear? The settlement of which will result in what? Inflow or outflow? What will it result in? Inflow or outflow? Outflow. Outflow. Clear? Outflow of what? Outflow of what? Which resources? Normal resources or economic resources? Outflow of what? Economic resources. Clear? Outflow of what? Clear? Liability is a present obligation arising from past events, settlement of which results in what? Outflow. Outflow of what? Outflow of resources. Embodying. Embodying what? Embodying what? Embodying economic benefits. Economic benefits. See, provision say we came down to liability. Simple. What is provision telling? Provision is what? Provision is a liability. Now problem, now we need to understand liability, right? What is liability? Liability is a present obligation arising from past events, settlement of which results in what? Outflow of economic resources. Clear? embodying the economic benefits. Clear? Now question comes, यहाँ पर what all we need to understand? Liability is what? A present obligation. So what we need to understand now? Sir, what is a present obligation? Clear? यहाँ पर only one thing we need to understand. Rest everything I hope everyone knows. What is a past event? Settlement means payment due. Resulting with what? Payment will result in outflow. Everything is simple. Now what is present obligation? अरे सर provision से we came to liability. Liability से we have to understand present obligation. What is present obligation? Remember one thing, present obligation is created by obligating event. I repeat, what is present obligation? Obligation created by what? Created by whom? Obligating event. Which event? Obligating event. Correct or not? Clear? Tell me, what is a provision? Provision is an asset or liability? Provision is an asset or liability? Liability. What is a liability? Liability is a present obligation or not? What is liability? Liability is a present obligation. Now tell, present obligation is created by what? Present obligation is created by what? Present obligation is created by what? Is created by which event? Obligating event. Is created by which event? Obligating event. Now you'll break your head. Sir, what is obligating event now? What is obligating event? Attention again. One after the other, we are getting definitions. Now, what is obligating event? Clear. To understand provision, we understood liability. To understand liability, we understood present obligation. We have to understand. To understand present obligation, first we need to understand obligating event. To understand obligating event, something else we have to understand. Clear. In ICI material ऐसा नहीं रहता example. Something is telling in ICI material. I have made a lot of research on this and made it easy for you. Now, what is an obligating event? Sir, obligating event is an event. Clear? Obligating event is an event. Listen very carefully. Event that creates an obligation. Clear? Obligating event is what, sir? It is an event which creates an obligation that results in an enterprise. Clear? That results in an enterprise having no realistic alternative to settling the obligation. क्या तो भी है सर, what all we are studying sir, right? I hope your head is waving here and there. समझ में आ रहा है या थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हो रहा? आराम से, it will get into your head. Anyone getting confused as of now? There are multiple other things to be क्या बोलते हैं अपना, there are multiple other things to be understood before we come back to understand what is provision. अभी तो start हुआ खाली. I'm not talking about anything. I'm just talking about provision. Now, tell me, provision is an asset or liability? Simple question. Those who are getting confused, tell me, provision is an asset or liability? Liability. Now tell, to understand provision, do you need to understand liability or not? To understand a provision, do you need to understand the liability or not? That is why what I am doing, I am explaining you the definition of liability. Now, what is a liability? What type of obligation is a liability? What type of obligation is a liability? Present obligation. Now to understand the provision, you need to understand the liability. But to understand the liability, I need to understand present obligation. Correct or not? To understand the liability, do I need to understand present obligation or not? Yes. Now, what is a present obligation? Obligation created by whom? Obligating event. Obligation means clear, obligating event. No. So now to understand what is a present obligation, I need to understand obligating event. Can I tell like this? First, I should understand obligating event. Then I will get to know what is present obligation. Once I know what is present obligation, I will come to know what is liability. Once I know what is liability, I will know what is a provision. Correct or not? Clear? That is why we are going like this. Clear? Problem is, I can explain you only definition of provision in one line. I can just explain you in 2 minutes. But if I explain like this, you will never be able to understand the difference between contingent liability and provision, which is important for exam. Clear? Now that is why. Now tell, what is obligating event? It is an event that creates, listen very carefully. It is an event that creates an obligation which results in what? Enterprise having no realistic alternative to settle the obligation. He is telling that I am having no alternative to settling the obligation, means I have no alternative but to make the payment. It says no realistic alternative to settling the obligation. It means I have no other option but to settle the obligation. Correct or not? This line means what? No realistic alternative to settling the obligation means what? I have no other option but to settle the obligation. Correct or not? I have no other option but to settle the obligation. Understood? अरे भाई क्या हो गया? This paragraph, what I have done means what? Company, or you can say entity, basically. Entity has no other option. Entity has no other option but to make payment. Make payment. Clear? Now tell. I have no other option. I have to make payment. Khatam. Now tell. If I had an option to make a payment, if I had an option to make a payment, is it an obligating event? If I had an obligation to make a payment, if I had an obligation to make payment, will it be an obligating event? No. If it is not an obligating event, will it be a present obligation? No. If it is not a present obligation, will it be a liability? If it is not a liability, will it be a provision? Khatam. Now understood? Now understood what is a provision? अभी और कुछ नहीं, अभी बहुत कुछ है. This is not, this is just a starting point of what is provision. Lot of things to be understood. Examples and all, Manoj, you don't worry. First, let me explain everything, then I will give you enough number of examples. Clear? I will give you enough examples and case laws we will discuss. Clear? So now what we understood? We understood that any event which occurs, I repeat, any event which occurs, due to that event, I have no other option but to make a payment. Khatam. I have to make a payment, no other option. Then it becomes provision. If I have other options, it will not become a provision. Now let us say, okay, here only I'll give you one example. Now let us say, tell me some airline company, tell me some airlines company. Tell me some airlines company. किंगफिशर, अरे वो बंद हो गया. एमिरेट्स. किंगफिशर में now only one thing is available. I hope everyone knows. Clear? Emirates. Now Air India, let us take. Clear? Air India better. According to DGCA, clear? According to DGCA, it is a government organization which manages the complete airline sector. Clear? According to DGCA, every flight ka engine should be overhauled, means it should be changed once in every 5 years. Clear? I repeat, engine should be changed every 5 years. Engine should be changed in every 5 years. Clear? In every 5 years. According to DGCA regulations, every airline, every aircraft ka engine should be replaced or overhauled or changed once in every how many years? 5 years. After 5 years, let us say cost is 10 crores. Clear? 10 lakhs. This is the cost of replacement of an engine of an aircraft. This is now or after 5 years? This is now or after 5 years? After 5 years. यहाँ पर, now tell me, after 5 years, Air India has to change the engine of its aircraft. After 5 years. Today will I create a provision or not? Today will I create a provision or not? Today will I create a provision or not? Simple question. Today should I create a provision or not? I received how many? Only 3 4 replies I received. I am waiting for others. I'll remove you from class if you are not replying. Yes. 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 Answer is no. I need not have any provision. I should not create a provision. Why? Now tell. Is it mandatory? Now what happens? Is it mandatory for Air India to operate for 5 years? Is it mandatory for Air? Is it mandatory that Air India can operate for 5 years? If it wants to close before 4 years, can it close before 4 years? If it wants to sell the aircraft in 3 years, can it sell the aircraft in 3 years? Now tell, is Air India having an option to avoid this 10 lakhs ka cost by selling the aircraft or by closing its company itself? Now tell, is it having an alternative? Yes. If I am having an alternative to make a payment, I am having an alternative of not making a payment. Since I am having an alternative of not making a payment, is it an obligating event? No. Since I'm having an alternative to make payment, is it an obligating event? No. Since it is not an obligating event, is there any present obligation? No. Now, if there is no present obligation, is it a liability? No. In case since it is not a liability, is it a provision? Now you understood the order in which you have to check whether it is a provision or not. Clear? First, what will you check? First, what will you check? Whether it is obligating event or not. Then you will check whether there is present obligation or not. Then you will check whether it is liability or not. Then you will check whether it is provision or not. Kadam, one by one, one by one, one by one, you should keep checking. Clear? But then every entity have this option. In which case? Every entity have this option in which case? You're talking in which case? Is it from aircraft point of view or which point of view? In aircraft point of view, obviously they will not create a provision. In aircraft, for that they will not create a provision. Then what will they create a provision? Let us assume that today they did not create a provision. If they think that now after 5 years, if they want to operate, after 5 years, if they still want to operate without changing the engine, after 5 years, assume that they want to operate without changing the engine, they have to pay fines and penalties or not? If they now today they are thinking that within 5 years they will sell the aircraft, today they are thinking that we will sell the aircraft within 5 years. In case if we are unable to sell the aircraft within 5 years, we will operate without changing the engine for 6 months. We will operate without changing the engine for 6 months. Now tell, if Air India is thinking to operate, if Air India is thinking to operate after 5 years, in the 5th year, last moment where they came to know no one is ready to buy. Tell me, 5th year में last 1 or 2 months में they came to know that no one is ready to buy. Till they sell, they have to operate or not? Till they sell, they have to operate or not? So in 6th year, they are operating for 3 months before they sell. In the 6th year, Air India is operating the aircraft without selling it or without changing its engine. Is it liable to pay penalties or not? Now tell, paying penalties for 3 months for using without engine, is there any option to avoid that payment, or I have to pay? I have to pay. There is no other option. You think government will allow chota bachcha hai na, take, you are not having money, right? You take penalty. No, I have to pay penalty. No other option. Now tell, for penalty which might be paid after 5 years, can I avoid? No. If I cannot avoid, is it an obligating event? Is it a provision? Yes. So in that case, I need to create a provision. There are some case laws which are there in my material. So when we are solving the problems, let us in detail, we will see there. I think one case law we have already done just now. I hope you understood now. Clear? No. Now let us understand. Clear? No. Now problem, sir, abhi present obligation. Clear? No. Present obligation I told is created by what? Present obligation is created by what? Present obligation is created by what? Which event? Which event? Obligating event. Clear? We understood what is obligating event. Did we understand what is present obligation? Did we understand what is present obligation? Did I explain? I only told you that it is created by obligating event. Did I explain you what is possible present obligation? No. अभी समझना नहीं समझना, we have to understand that also, right? Provision का meaning, I'm just explaining you meaning of provision right now. I did not explain how to recognize, when to recognize anything. That we'll see tomorrow. At least let us understand what is provision. Clear? Now, point number D. Order you have to be very careful. Clear? This order if you follow, exam may it will become easy. Just like AS4 ko I have given an order to verify the problems. Same way I am giving you here also. Clear? Now, clear? Obligation is a present obligation. Obligation is a present obligation if based on, clear, if based on the evidence available. Evidence available. Clear? Evidence available. Clear? If based on the evidence available, its existence. Clear? Its existence as on the balance sheet date is considered probable. अब ये क्या है sir? Now what is this? One after the other we are seeing definitions. यही है. That is why I told this is the most difficult and confusing standard. If you are able to understand, khatam. You cannot fail in accounts. Obligation is what? Clear? What is a present obligation? Obligation is a present obligation if based on the evidence available on which date balance sheet date. ये सब जरूरत ही नहीं है. When is it considered as a present obligation? If the obligation is probable. Khatam. If the obligation is probable, then it is considered as what? Present obligation. Khatam. This much you understand. If an obligation is probable as on the balance sheet date, it is what? It is a, clear? It is what? It is a present obligation. Now, sir, what is probable? Remember one thing, there are two terms to be understood. Clear? One is probable and one is possible. One is probable, one is possible. Clear? One is probable, one is possible. Probable means more likely than not. More likely than not is called as what? Probable. More likely than not. So to simplify more, I can tell you greater than 50% sure. I am greater than 50% sure that I have to pay. I am greater than 50% sure that I have to pay. It means what? It is a probable. It is probable. Sir, less than 50% I am sure that I have to pay. Possible. Khatam. If it is probable, it is a provision. If it is not probable, if it is possible, it is a contingent liability. Which liability? Contingent liability. Now understood? Clear? If it is probable means as on 31st March, if I am 50 clear, as on 31st March, if I am more than 50% sure that I have to make a payment, then it is what? Provision. As on 31st March, if I am less than 50% sure that I have to make a payment, it is not a provision. If it is not a provision, what it will be? It will be what? A contingent liability. Simple. I hope you understood. Clear? Now let us revise once and then we'll close. Clear? So definition is not yet over. There are many things. I cannot continue now. It will take a lot of time. Tomorrow we will continue. Let us revise whatever I have explained you till now. Till now, I have not explained you the definition of provision. I am only explaining you one part of the provision, right? Definition we will see tomorrow. Clear? Now tell. Provision is what? Is it an asset or liability? Liability. With clear? Liability is what? Which obligation? Present obligation or future obligation? Present obligation. Present obligation is created by what? Present obligation is created by what? Which event? Present obligation is created by which event? Obligating event. What is obligating event? Obligating event will give me alternative to make a payment or it will make sure that I have to make a payment. Obligating event will give me an option or no option to make a payment. No alternative means I have to make a payment, no other option. Now, clear? Now coming back to present obligation. What is present obligation? Present obligation means as on balance sheet date, it should be probable or possible. Present obligation means probable or possible. Probable. Probable means what? More likely than not. It means in numbers, can you tell how much percentage guarantee I'm having that I have to pay? Greater than 50%. Then it is considered as what? Provision. If it is less than 50%, possible. Clear? I hope till now it is clear. I did not complete the definition of provision. Still many things are to be discussed. Till now everything is clear. With example of aircraft, I hope you understood. Now let us understand what is possible obligation. Clear? Obligation is possible. Clear? You cannot write in exam that obligation is possible when guarantee is less than 50%, right? You cannot write like this. You need a definition, right? Obligation is possible if based on, clear, if based on evidence available, if based on evidence available, its existence, clear, its existence as on the balance sheet date, clear, as on the balance sheet date is considered not probable. Clear? Not probable. Probable means what? Greater than 50%, right? When it is not probable, it might be either equal to or less than 50%. Clear? Yesterday's notes incomplete. I didn't get you, Sandeep. You didn't write yesterday's notes. I didn't give time only, right, to write. Once I complete this concept, then you write at a time. Clear? Yesterday I did not give a chance only, right, to write. Once I complete, you write. No. Any doubts as of now? Now let us see some examples. Clear? Let us see some examples. Clear? I will give you some examples I have. Let us see whether you are able to solve or not. Tell me example number 1. I will write. Clear? Example number 1. Clear? Example number 1. Example number 1. A retail store. Clear? A retail store has a policy. Clear? A retail store has a policy of refunding. Clear? A retail store has a policy of refunding purchases. Refunding purchases. Clear? Refunding purchases for, or not for, to dissatisfied customers. Clear? Dissatisfied customers. Though it has, clear, though it has no legal obligation to do so. Clear? To do so. Now tell, what should be done in this case? Should I create a provision or not? Simple. Should provision be created or not? Clear? Now I will explain, then you tell. Clear? I will explain, then you tell. I'll ask a question, based on that you tell. Let us say, for example, Flipkart. Whenever you order something on Flipkart, clear, whenever you order something on Flipkart, do you have an option to return it back and get your money as refund? Simple question. You order something on Amazon, you order something on Flipkart, clear, do you have an option to give that product and refund? Yes. Within some 10 to 15 days, whatever refund policy is there. Now tell, is Flipkart under a legal obligation, or you can say, is government or law forcing Flipkart or Amazon to refund, or Flipkart on its own is doing it? Is law forcing it, or it's doing on its own to attract customers? It's doing on its own. That is what I told. Here a retail store has a policy of refunding purchases to dissatisfied customers, even though it has no legal obligation to do so. Now, what is it asking? Should provision be recognized or not? Now, first, How will you start to tell? Is it an obligating event or not? Tell me, is it an obligating event or not? First of all, first let us understand what is an obligating event. Obligating event. Clear? Obligating event means what? Now, obligating event, let us say here. What is the obligating event here? What is the obligating event here? Event is nothing but sale of goods. Sir, if I sell the goods to you, see, law is not forcing me, right? Law is not forcing. That is my company's policy, right? Law is not forcing me. It is my company's policy. Once you buy something from me, once you buy something from me, if you are not satisfied, I am telling you that I will refund you the money. Leave about law. I am not talking about law. Company ke policy, according to company's policy, once I sell some goods, you buy from me, you are not satisfied, you have every right to give back the goods to me and take the money from me. Now tell, when I sell the goods to you, am I under an obligation to repay to you if you are not satisfied? Can I ask you, no, I will not refund to you? Simple question. Once I sell the goods to you, simple question. Once I sell the goods to you, and if you want a refund, can I say no? Simple question. Do I have any other option other than to refund you back? No. Now understood what is obligating event here? What is obligating event here? Sale of goods. What is obligating event here? Sale of goods. So once I sell the goods to you, I have no other option but to refund you if you ask me the money back. Correct or not? I hope you understood obligating event here. Anyone has any doubts as of now? Clear? Next. Now tell me, clear? Next. Next, what you need to understand? Next. Now we understood what is obligating event. Let us now understand what is present obligation or not. Is it present obligation or not? Tell me, is it present obligation or not? What is the present obligation here? What is the present obligation here? I'm waiting for reply. Refund, simple. Present obligation is what? Refund. Refund, why? Why am I refunding? To maintain good relationship with customers, correct? Good relationship with customers. Clear? So it is an obligating event. It is a present obligation. Now tell how much percentage sure that I have to pay the money. I'm more than 50% sure that I have to pay you money. That is why it is called present obligation. When you're asking refund, how much percentage I'm sure that I have to pay you? 100% sure. There is no other option, right? Next. Now tell, will it result in outflow of economic benefits? Will it result in outflow of economic benefits? Will it result in outflow of benefits? Yes. Outflow is clear. Outflow is probable. I'm not telling possible, probable. Now tell, should I recognize a provision or not? Should I recognize a provision or not? Simple. Provision should be recognized. Provision should be recognized. Clear? I hope you understood now how to recognize a provision. Now, let us see one more case law. Let us see. Refund policy हो गया. What else we can take? Guarantee. Clear? Guarantee. X Limited gave a guarantee. Clear? X Limited gave a guarantee to Y Limited on behalf. Clear? On behalf of Mr. A for rupees 10 lakhs. Clear? X Limited gave a guarantee to Y Limited on behalf of whom? Mr. A, for how much? 10 lakhs. On which date? On 10th October 2018. Clear? 2018. As on, clear? As on 31st March 2019, Mr. A's financial position is sound. Clear? Sound. However, clear? However, in financial year 2019-20, Mr. A becomes insolvent. Simple. Clear? Mr. A becomes insolvent. This is example number 2. Now, who gave a guarantee? X. X Limited gave a guarantee to whom? Y Limited on behalf of A for how much? 10 lakhs. In which financial year? 18-19 financial year. Clear? Now, financial year 2018-19. Clear? Financial year 2018-19. Tell me. As of 31st March to now, tell me guarantee का मतलब क्या है? What do we mean by guarantee? Will X Limited pay the money, or X Limited will pay the money if Mr. A is unable to pay? Who has to pay money? Mr. A has to pay money. If Mr. A is not paying the money, then only X Limited has to pay. Correct or not? Guarantee doesn't mean that I have to pay money on your behalf. If you don't pay, I will pay. In this case, now tell me, in the financial year 18-19, as of 31st March, financial position of Mr. A is good or bad? Financial position of Mr. A is good or bad? Now tell. So chances of X Limited paying are there or not? Chances of X Limited paying to Y Limited are there or not? No. When there are no chances to pay, should I create a provision or contingent liability? Should I create a provision or contingent liability? Simple. Contingent liability. Clear? Contingent liability. Next, financial year 2019-20. In financial year 1920, financial position was affected, right? Becomes insolvent. Financial year in 1920 में Mr. A becomes insolvent. In that case, I have to pay or not? What is an obligating event here? Obligating event is nothing but giving a guarantee. Since I have given a legal guarantee, I have no other option but to repay to you, right? So in 1920, should I create a contingent liability or should I create a provision? Provision, simple. It will be what? It will be a provision. Clear? It will be what? It will be a provision. I hope you got the point now. Simple. Understood? 2, 3, 4, whatever examples we have taken. Now, now let us continue. Now let us come back to the definition here. Clear? Let us come back to the definition of provision here. As I already told you what is provision. Now let us understand word by word. Provision is a liability, which I have already explained, which can be measured. Measured means what? Calculated. Measured means what? Calculated. Measured means calculated. Measured means what? Calculated. Only by using substantial degree of estimation. Sir, substantial degree of estimation means what? Less than 100% perfect. I repeat, what do we mean by substantial degree of estimation? Less than 100% perfect. Now I'll tell you. Coming back here. Sir, clear liability, clear provision and contingent liability. Contingent liability, right? Clear? What is a liability? Come here. What is a liability? I have written here. Kahan gaya wo? No. Sir, substantial degree of estimation means what? Less than 100%. Sir, I am sure with, I repeat, substantial degree. I repeat, 100% perfection. I can measure with 100% perfection. What is it then? Liability. I can measure with 100% perfection means I have no doubt. Then it is called what? Liability. Less than 100% perfection is called what? Substantial degree of estimation. Degree of estimation. Then it will be called what? Then it will be called as provision. Clear? Now I will explain you the differences. I hope you are able to understand now. Clear? Substantial degree of estimation is what? Less than 100%. I'm not perfect. Clear? Without clear less than 100% perfect calculation I'm doing. What is it called? Provision. 100% perfect calculation I'm doing. Liability. Now what happens? Now what happens when provision cannot be measured, cannot be measured, cannot be measured. Clear? When provision cannot be measured, when provision cannot be measured, it is disclosed as what? It is disclosed as what? It is disclosed as contingent liability, and this is very rare cases. Very rare cases. Clear? 99.99% of the time I know how much provision to create. I can estimate it. But sir, if I am unable to create a provision, if I am unable to estimate a provision, if I am unable to measure a provision, then I will create what? Contingent liability. Clear? Let us say, for example, sundry creditors. Now tell sundry creditors, sundry debtors, sorry, sundry debtors. Tell me, sundry debtors is a liability or a provision or a contingent liability? Sundry debtors is a liability, provision or a contingent liability? Sundry debtors. Sundry debtors is a liability, is a provision or contingent liability? Sundry debtors. Are small kids you are. I'm asking you to reply. I'm waiting for your reply. Acha, sundry debtors. Some people are telling provision. Some people are telling asset. It is clear. Sundry debtors is an asset. It is neither a liability nor a provision nor a contingent liability. Now tell sundry creditors. Sundry creditors is what? Is it a liability, provision or contingent liability? It's a liability. Why is it a liability? Do I know how much I have sold to you? Do I know how much I have purchased from you? Sorry. Do I know how much I have purchased from you? I have an invoice, right? I have an invoice. Can I tell how much goods I have purchased from you? Can I estimate with 100% guarantee that I have to pay you this much? So that is why it is called as what? Liability. That is why it is called as what? Liability. Next to bad debts. Bad debts. Last 3-4 years में 2% of the people are not paying me money. Last 2-3 years में whatever sales I am doing, 2-3% people are unable to pay me. Now, am I 100% sure that only 2-3% people are there? It can be more or less also, but around 2% people are not paying me. Now tell, am I 100% perfect or less than 100% perfect? Less than 100% perfect. That is called what? Provision. Now let us assume I am, same question may come back here. Same question may, let us assume that, clear? Now same question may, let us assume that I am new business, right? New business. I am new business. I told you that in last 2-3 years, I told you that 2 or 3% of the people are not paying me. I created a provision. New business in first year of operations. How will it decide? How will it decide the bad debts? A new business in the first year of operations, how will it decide bad debts? On what basis will it create a provision? What is the basis for it to create a provision now? So if I am an old business, clear, if I am an old business, last 2-3 years ka data I have, based on that I am creating a provision. But what if I am a new company? First year of operations mein, what should I do? Can I create a provision? Can I create a provision? Can I create a provision? No. What will I do? If it is not possible to measure a provision, what will I record? Contingent liability. I hope you understood now. So when I cannot measure it as a provision, I will transfer it to what? Contingent liability. Again, court case. I may win, I may not win, right? I may win, I may not win. Am I 100%? If I am 100% sure, I will win. Liability. Yeah, if I am 100% sure, I will lose. Liability. Less than 100% sure, maybe less than 100% sure. but I know that I have to pay money less than 100% sure, provision. I don't know whether I will win or not. I don't know whether I will win. I don't know whether I will lose. I have no idea. My lawyer also has no idea. Then what will I do? Contingent liability. Now understood what is difference between liability, provision and contingent liability? Clear? Liability, clear? Now understood the difference between liability, provision and contingent liability? Next. So here I have explained you liability is substantial degree of estimation, and liability is a present obligation arising out of past events, settlement of which will result in what? Obviously outflow. Outflow means cash is coming in or going out. Cash is coming in or going out. Going out. Then what else? I think all the points I have already explained you, right? I hope everything is clear as of now. Okay. So please make a note from here. I think from the beginning you have to write from here. Please make a note. Now. Now, let us continue and finish the last part of ACE Kunsapna 29 relating to provision, that is, when to recognize a provision. Clear? When to recognize a provision. So, let us continue with the last part of ACE 29 relating to provisions. Clear? When to recognize a provision. Clear? When to recognize a provision. When to recognize a provision. We have seen so many practical examples, right? And I have given you so many other examples. Let us now note it down theoretically. Clear, listen very carefully. I'll give you enough time to write. When to recognize a provision. There are some conditions to be satisfied. Condition number one, enterprise, clear, enterprise has a present obligation, has a present obligation. Clear, enterprise has what? Enterprise has a present obligation as a result, clear, as a result of what? As a result of past events. Clear? As a result of past events. Condition number two, it is probable, clear, it is probable, not possible. This word is very important. Probable means more than 50% guarantee. Clear, possible means less than 50% guarantee. It is probable that an outflow, clear, it is probable that an outflow of resources, clear, outflow of resources embodying, clear, embodying economic benefits, clear, embodying economic benefits will be required, for what? To settle the obligation. Clear, to settle the obligation. Clear, will be required to settle the obligation. Both the points I've already explained you. Point number three, a reliable estimate can be made. Reliable estimate can be made. Clear, can be made. Clear. Now, so three conditions I've given you. All three conditions are satisfied. What will happen? All conditions are satisfied. All conditions are satisfied. Clear, all conditions are satisfied. What will happen? It will be recognized as what? It will be recognized as provision. Clear, it will be recognized as provision even if one condition is not satisfied. Clear, even if one condition is not satisfied. What will happen? Obviously, as I already told you, when it is not a provision, it will be what? Contingent liability. It will be contingent liability, right? It will be what? It will be a contingent liability. Once I create, tell me, once I create a provision, will that provision be there for lifetime? Once I create a provision, will it be there for a lifetime? Simple. Or I need to check on every balance sheet date. Simple. A contingent liability can be converted into provision. Provision can be converted into contingent liability. Why? Because every balance sheet date. Let us say, for example, I gave you an example here. See, 1819 में it was contingent liability. 1920 में it was provision. So it can interchange, right? So every balance sheet date pay, these are general points on provision. I'll write here. General points on provision. Clear? General points on provision. Point number 1. Clear? Point number 1. When do I measure? Clear? An enterprise determines. Clear? An enterprise determines. Clear? An enterprise determines whether present. Clear? Whether present obligation exist on which date? At balance sheet date. Clear? At balance sheet date. At balance sheet date. Clear? At balance sheet date by taking all available evidence. All available evidence. Evidence means what? Now let us say in court case. Clear? In court case, what is the evidence? Lawyer is telling me that. Clear? Lawyer is telling me that I have to pay, I may not pay. Clear? Then based on that I will decide. In case of guarantee, what happened? In case of guarantee, the insolvency and insolvency of the other party will decide whether I have to pay or not. In case of airlines, we have seen. Clear? What we have seen in case of airlines? If I may stop operating the aircraft, I may continue the aircraft. It all depends again. In case of again warranty, clear? You may come to claim a warranty, you may not come to claim a warranty. So many conditions we have seen. So every balance sheet date pay, I need to see whether, clear? Every balance sheet date pay, I need to see whether present obligation is there or not. Clear? Here again there can be two options. Theoretically, I already told you. Clear? Example may I have already explained you. Let us write it properly. Clear? Where, now you tell. I will write the provision here. You tell what should be the answer. Clear? Where it is more likely than not. Clear? Where it is more likely than not that a present, clear, that a present, where it is more likely than not that a present obligation exist. Clear? Exist as at balance sheet date. Clear? Now tell, what should I do? In this case, what should I do? When there is more likely than not, I already explained you. More likely than not means what? More likely than not means what? Probable. Probable means what? What should I create? Probable means what? What should I create? Provision. Clear? Create provision. Clear? Create provision. Clear? This I have already explained you in examples. Now I am writing down theoretically. Clear? Next. Again, point number 2. When it is, clear, when it is more likely, clear, when it is more likely that no present obligation, clear, when it is more likely that no present obligation exist, clear, exist at the balance sheet date. Clear? At the balance sheet date. Now what should I do? You tell. What should I do? Contingent liabilities. Clear? Contingent liabilities. What should I do? Contingent liability. Contingent liability. Now point number 2. Outflow of economic benefits. Economic benefits is remote. Clear? Outflow of economic benefits is remote. So remote means near to 0%. near to 0% means very less, 0.01 or 0.02%, near to 0%, near to 0%, very less, remote possibility is there, then it should be ignored. It will be neither, clear, neither liability nor provision nor contingent liability, clear. So in case if the outflow is very remote, clear, if the outflow is very remote, remote means what? Near to 0%. Remote means what? Near to 0%. Very rare, 0.01, 0.02, 0.01% in those cases. When it is very remote, then it is neither recognized as a liability nor recognized as a provision nor recognized as a contingent liability. You have to blindly ignore. Khatam. Why? Because it is very remote, right? When it is very remote, ignore. Why to break your head? Clear? Point number 3. Clear? For an event to be an obligating event, clear? For an event to be obligating event, it is necessary, clear? It is necessary that the enterprise, clear? It is necessary that the enterprise has no realistic alternative, clear, no realistic alternative to settling the obligation. True or false? True or false? For an event to be considered as an obligating event, it is necessary that enterprise has no realistic alternative to settling the obligation. True or false? True. Clear? These are all general points I have already explained, but now I am writing in theory. Next, point number 4. An event, clear, an event that does not, clear, an event that does not give rise to an obligation, clear, an event that does not give rise to an obligation immediately, clear, immediately, may do so, clear, may do so at a later date, at a later date. Now tell, correct or not? True or false? True or false? It is, this is also true. Today it might not give me an obligation, but future might give me an obligation. Let us say for example, clear, let us say for example, there is a factory, clear, there is a factory, clear, this is a chemical factory, clear, Arya Chemicals, clear, Arya Chemicals Private Limited, clear, Arya Chemicals Private Limited is a factory, clear, Arya Chemicals Private Limited is a factory, and this is the river, this is a river nearby the factory, clear, there is a river nearby the factory, there is a river nearby the factory, and all the waste they are dumping here, waste is dumped, in river by ACPL. ACPL means Arya Chemicals Private Limited. Right now there is no law, right now there is no environment law, right now there is no law which is asking them to pay penalty. I repeat, right now there is no law which is asking them to pay penalty for damaging the river. There is no law which is telling them to clean up the river what they have contaminated. But now what happened? But very soon it is virtually certain. Now it is virtually certain. Government has passed an act. Now clear. It is virtually certain. Next year it is virtually certain. Virtually certain that law will be enacted. After that, what I have to do? Either I have to pay penalty or I have to clean it up. Now tell, in the current year where I am dumping all the waste in the river, is there any law which is forcing me to pay money? Is there any obligation to pay money? No, there is no obligation. But this year, but next year may there is a news that next year 99% sure that a new law is going to come in next year, which will ask me either to pay penalty or to clean up the river whatever I have been damaging from last 1 or 2 years. Now tell, is the payment in next year virtually certain? Is the payment in next year virtually certain because of new law? Yes. But how much money do I have to pay? Do I have any idea? No. So what will I do? Can I create a liability? No. What will I do? I will create a provision. Clear? I will create a provision. Understood? This is a case where if current obligation is not there, but next year may obligation might come at a later date. I hope the example is clear for everyone. Anyone has any doubts to ask? Clear? Just like one more example, as I already told you, कौन सा अपना guarantee का current year में there was no obligation, but next year में obligation has arrived. Clear? Next, point number 5. Clear? Point number 5. Liability to be recognized. Clear? Liability to be recognized only when there is there is present obligation. Clear? Present obligation plus, clear, there is a present obligation plus probability. Clear? Probability of outflow of economic benefits. Probability of outflow of economic benefits. Clear? Benefits. Now tell me, is this true or false? Is this true or false? Liability I will recognize only when two conditions are satisfied. Condition number 1, present obligation plus probability that I have to pay money to you. Clear? Probability that I have to pay money to you. Clear? Now question comes, what is that point? Now let us see. I'll tell you three options. I'll give you liability. Clear? Then we have provision, and then we have contingent liability. Clear? Contingent liability. Clear? These are the three options what I'm giving you. Clear? What are the three options? Option number 1, liability. Option number 2, provision. And option number 3 is what? Option number 3 is contingent liability. Clear? Option number 3 is contingent liability. Now contingent, now tell me, what should I do with liability? Liability is recognized or not? Liability is recognized. Clear? Liability is recognized. Provision is also recognized. Recognized means in financial statements I will do adjustments. But contingent liability is not recognized. It is only disclosed. Not recognized, only disclosed. Clear? It is not recognized, it is only disclosed. Where do I disclose? Clear? Where do I disclose? After balance sheet. Clear? After balance sheet I will disclose. Clear? After balance sheet. Once I finish the balance sheet, it is disclosed as what? Footnote. It is disclosed. I repeat, contingent liability is not disclosed in notes to accounts. It is disclosed as a footnote to balance sheet. Clear? I repeat, let us say for example, this is balance sheet. Balance sheet is over here. Clear? Balance sheet is over here. Here I will write footnotes. Footnotes may I will mention contingent liability. After that I will start writing notes to accounts. Clear? So I repeat, where will I show? Will I show in notes to accounts or footnotes? I will show in footnotes. Footnotes means after balance sheet but before showing notes to accounts. Correct? Footnote, where will it come? After preparation of balance sheet but before starting the preparation of notes to accounts. Anyone has any doubts as of today?